A 20,000-year-old tooth was discovered from an extinct species.
We will also give you a recap of one of the biggest music award shows that happened last night. All this and more coming up on Studio G.
Welcome to Studio G. My name is Jonathan Corral.
And I'm Justine. Thank you for joining us. The war in Ukraine continues as Russia strikes the city of Mariupol, but Ukraine was successful in fighting back forces and regained control over Kyiv. 100,000 civilians remain trapped inside the city.
So far, 15,000 Russian troops have been killed since the beginning of the invasion. U.S. President Joe Biden is set to fly to Europe as NATO prepares for a Ukraine summit. With the continuation of Russia's invasion of Ukraine, EA, the American video game company, is continuing to pause relations with Russia and Belarus. Reporter Caldejon has more on the story.
The electronic arts company has made another official statement on their website and social media. The video game publisher continues its boycott to the invasions of Ukraine and has decided to make Russia and Belarus's esports teams and players ineligible to participate in the Apex Legends Global Series and the EA Sports FIFA 22 Global Series. This change is effective immediately. Reporting for Studio G, I am Caldejon.
While the war progresses, the gaming industry continues to show their solidarity.
A popular lotion is being taken off the shelves, and the company is asking for you to throw away the bottle or return it. Jergens Ultra Healing Moisturizer might contain some harmful bacteria. This harmful bacteria may be dangerous as it could cause infections in people with weak immune systems. If the Jergens bottle is a 3 or 10 ounce and the serial number bottle starts with ZU, the Federal Drug Administration is asking consumers to stop using it immediately. Reporting for Studio G, I'm Justine. The company is currently removing the bottle from manufacturing and retail stores.
An Iowa man got to be a paleontologist for a day after this once-in-a-lifetime discovery. Reporter Barry Sabine has more.
Check it out. This is a woolly mammoth tooth found on a construction site in the city of Sheldon, Iowa. It weighs a whopping 11.2 pounds and is nearly a foot long. Self-proclaimed nerd Justin found the tooth. It was laying there, clearly exposed during excavation. Thanks to the fact he has always been interested in fossils and prehistoric animals. Even more so now, as his two sons have shown huge interest in dinosaurs. It was easy for him to make the connection that what seemed to be a boulder was actually a mammoth tooth. This tooth is suspected to be over 2,000 years old. It will be on semi-permanently loan display in the Northwest Iowa Community College Sheldon Perry Museum. Reporting for Studio G, Barry Sabine.
That tooth is crazy.
Oh yeah, I mean, what's the craziest thing you've read about being discovered?
Well, I'm not sure if it was true or not. I mean, I found it on Reddit, so it probably wasn't true, but like giant skeletons, they're like maybe theorized that maybe giants lived on Earth. I don't know. How about you?
No, I remember reading something earlier. I don't know if it was this year or late last year, but I know scientists found like a fossilized like dinosaur egg, and they actually cut into it, and you could see like, I guess, a dinosaur fetus and everything.
Oh, I think that, yeah.
Kind of, and it was like
crazy.
super detailed and kind of like crazy to see like this like prehistoric like time capsule in a way.
Yeah, so I don't know, Jurassic Park might come back. Okay. A Spring Valley High School teacher was arrested yesterday. Aaron Moriboli is being accused of using the internet to stalk a juvenile.
Morbiali got hired in 2018, but he was arrested and booked at the Clark County Detention Center. However, he is still able to work from home.
At 4:30 this morning, a man broke into his ex-girlfriend's house and tried to kill her. The man held the woman gunpoint in the southwest Las Vegas Valley, but the woman acted in self-defense and killed the man, according to police. The male was found dead by the time paramedics arrived to the scene. The case will be sent to the district attorney's office to confirm if the woman acted in self-defense.
As the Bar and Restaurant Expo is in its final day here at the Las Vegas Convention Center, one of the standouts from this year's expo is Adam the bartending robot. The robot can mix anything from cocktails to a cup of coffee. Adam was created by a company right here in Vegas, Rich Tech Robotics. Adam will be integrated with other robot servers to keep things contactless. It will be interesting to see when this technology will be readily available in Las Vegas.
On the second day of our series, Working in Male-Dominated Industries, a series in honor of Women's History Month, Studio G reporter Ana Meza interviews her cousin, Crystal Meza, a young female sous chef in Las Vegas and a big inspiration for the series.
The second woman in our Women Working in Male-Dominated Industry series is Crystal Meza, a sous chef at the Las Vegas Strip. Chef Meza's hard work has put her in a position of authority in the kitchen. When the national average age for head chefs and lead cooks is near 40 years old, she was only 27 years old when she was promoted.
I'm a sous chef at Bubblegum Shrimp Company.
How long have you been doing that for?
I've been in the industry for 11 years, but I've been a sous chef for 2 years.
Was it difficult transitioning from an hourly employee to a salary manager?
Just the coworkers accepting and respecting me as a manager, not just as one of them.
Do you think that you had to work more to earn their respect because you're a woman?
It was definitely difficult because I'm a woman and I'm younger.
When going into the culinary arts and like going into the kitchen work, did you know that you were going to be surrounded by a majority?
I did not. I was really surprised. I thought it would be like an equal amount of men and women, and then going into it, I realized there was a lot more men in the industry, and then like the higher up positions were definitely all men, as far as like chefs and sous chefs.
Have you reached what you wanted to do in your career, or is there something that you're still working for?
I definitely reached my like short-term goals as far as like becoming the sous chef, but I do want to go higher up, like executive chef, and then maybe one day opening up my own type of concept.
According to a 2019 Data USA report, women made up less than 25% of chefs and kitchen leaders in the U.S. and also make nearly $10 less. Up next after the break, the valley is starting to heat up. Lake Caldejon brings us today's weather after the break.
Parent, you've done it all this past year. But the one thing you may not have done is take care of yourself. At Boys Town, we know that a parent's mental health is important too. Visit boystown.org/stressedout for great self-care tips for parents. You can even download an ebook to guide you and your family through self-care strategies. Because healthy parents are key to happy families.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Lake Caldejon, and I'll be your weather woman for today. All right, so right now we have today's high of 79 degrees and a wind speed of 6 miles per hour. So it's actually going to be pretty nice compared to the last few weeks that we've had. All right, and here are our valley temperatures. As you can see, everything around in Las Vegas is going to be in that 60s, higher 60s and low 70s. And for our weather headlines today, it's going to be an easy and sunny week for us. We're going to have light wind speeds and then mostly clear skies all the way throughout the night. And then for our evening planner, from 3 p.m., it's going to be 76 degrees, and it's going to go up by 1 degree about 6 p.m. And then throughout the later of the evening, it's going to drop down to that 62 degrees. So keep that sweater on ya. All right, and then for tomorrow morning, it's going to be a sunrise temperature of 55 degrees. And we're going to have the sunrise at 6:38 a.m. Now that's actually a really good time to go jogging, but still, as I've said before, I will not be jogging at that early morning. I will still be asleep in bed.
And then here we are for our 7-day forecast. So starting from today, it's going to be 78 degrees, and it's going to start to slowly rise up from that 70 all the way up to the 90 degrees. We haven't seen that temperature in a while, so get ready for that. Bring out your sunscreen, all of that. And then as the lows are going to go back down to the 50s during the evenings, and then back to the 60s for those 90-degree days, and then back to the 50s. All right, and when we come back, Jacob Teller has the director of the CAPS program on set for a live interview. Stay put.
Unlike other health concerns, mental illness is not always easy to see.
Third line, please.
DEPRESSION.
Mental illness doesn't show up on a scale.
Bipolar?
Sorting out a mental health concern is not something to attempt on your own.
Anxiety. I thought so.
Like many health conditions, help for mental illness takes professional diagnosis and treatment. And the sooner you seek treatment, the better.
Look at that. 6,000 steps and PTSD.
If you or a loved one has a mental health concern, don't go it alone. Find out what to do. For 24-hour free and confidential information and treatment referral, call 1-800-662-HELP. Learn more at samhsa.gov/support.
Chris Domine is a husband and a father. Chris is an athlete. Chris is even an Ironman. But 10 years ago, Chris was facing a very different story because his kidneys were failing.
Basically, the doctor said, if you don't get a kidney transplant and if you don't do dialysis, you are going to die.
Fortunately, Chris received a second chance at life, made possible by an organ donor.
You know, your well-being changes, you know, from loss of hope to better times ahead.
More than 100 million people in America are registered organ, eye, and tissue donors. People of every age and ethnicity, because they believe it's the right thing to do. Imagine what you could make possible by leaving behind the gift of life. Learn more and sign up as an organ, eye, and tissue donor. Go to organdonor.gov.
CAPS is located in a student wellness center where students can address their mental health concerns. There are a wide variety of services at CAPS, including group therapy, couples therapy, individual counseling, workshops, and therapy assistance online. With all the options at CAPS, students of UNLV should never feel alone with mentors that are there to provide us with the services we need to help lighten the load during tough times. No matter the issue, visit the Student Wellness Center for counseling and psychological services. Today, I am joined by the director of the CAPS program, Dr. Shauna Landis. And Dr. Landis, it is a pleasure to have you on our show today.
Thanks, it's great to be here.
Now, tell me a little bit about the CAPS program and the services you guys have to offer.
Sure. So CAPS, as we call it, Student Counseling and Psychological Services, is an IACS-accredited counseling center. We have about 15 full-time professional staff members, senior staff members, and we have 4 doctoral interns in our APA-accredited training program and 4 practicum trainees that are doing clinical work at our center. So we have a pretty large interdisciplinary staff, meaning we have folks from marriage and family therapy, social work, psychology, psychiatry, and we have kind of the full breadth of counseling center services. So we have, we do workshops and outreach programming where we'll meet with groups and talk about different mental health topics that they might be interested in learning about. We also have a lot of services through our self-help online on our website, and you can also follow our social media. And the self-help resources can be accessed by any enrolled student. They're free and confidential, you know, anonymous, so they can read about different mental health modules or topics kind of from the privacy of their own places. We also have counseling services, individual counseling, group counseling, and couples counseling. We have walk-in crisis services available as well, and assessment, intake assessment.
Wow, yeah, you guys have plenty of services to offer. I did see that you guys recently introduced a new service called You. It's an online service. Could you tell me a little more about that?
Sure. So we have several. The newest one that just rolled out in January is called You at UNLV. And students can just hop on there and explore it. There's a lot of information around health, mental health, physical health, academics, how to pick a major, just really a variety of topics. And it also, it's embedded in kind of the resources at UNLV. So if there are things that folks are interested in, if they need, they can read general information, but then if they want to connect with someone at the university that can help them navigate it further or talk about it, it'll connect them to the right office. So it's really helpful in sort of blending the information and the resources together.
Yeah, no, that's definitely something we can use at UNLV for our students. When it comes to students that are dealing with, major depressive episodes or just stress from school and they need immediate counseling, do you guys have walk-ins available, or do you kind of just lean towards the online services you guys have?
If it's an emergency, students can call in or walk in during our open hours and ask to speak to a counselor if there's a crisis. Routine services, we ask them to schedule in advance. But if they're in crisis, that's available. The other thing that's new this year that we just rolled out in the fall is we've partnered with an after-hours hotline service. So there are folks that if you call our main number during weekends, after evening or holidays when the center isn't open, it'll connect to hotline personnel, and those folks will help the individual that's calling, and then they'll loop us back in so we can follow up with the student later on. So that's a great support service for kind of those after hours times if students need it.
That's great. Yeah, no, I know you guys have plenty of services available, and not only that, but other locations opening up soon. But once again, thank you for being on our show, Dr. Landis. And next up, stay tuned for all things sports and entertainment after the break.
You're going to need me. You're going to need us. All of us. You're going to need our technical skills, our math, our engineering skills. You're going to need our help with your water, your air, your food. You're going to need our organizational skills, our problem-solving skills. You're going to need our determination, our honesty, our compassion. You're going to need the next generation of leaders to face the challenges the future will bring. And we promise we'll be there when you need us.
Unlike other health concerns, mental illness is not always easy to see.
Third line, please.
DEPRESSION.
Mental illness doesn't show up on a scale.
Bipolar?
Sorting out a mental health concern is not something to attempt on your own.
Anxiety. I thought so.
Like many health conditions, help for mental illness takes professional diagnosis and treatment. And the sooner you seek treatment, the better.
Look at that. 6,000 steps and PTSD.
If you or a loved one has a mental health concern, don't go it alone. Find out what to do. For 24-hour free and confidential information and treatment referral, call 1-800-662-HELP. Learn more at samhsa.gov/support.
Welcome back to Studio G. Starting off today's sports recap, the trade deadline has passed in the NHL, but the Golden Knights still have a move pending. Nick Todorovic has the details.
The Golden Knights are dealing with one of the worst injury crises seen in the NHL. They have 12 players out who are either hurt or sick with COVID-19. But when the trade deadline came around, they tried to send Evgeny Dadonov to the Anaheim Ducks for cash considerations. The NHL initially approved of the trade, but then Dadonov's agent said that the Ducks were a team that Dadonov could not be traded to because of his partial no-move clause. The Golden Knights and NHL said they weren't aware of the clause, but Dadonov's agent is persistent that the NHL has paperwork on this issue on file. The trade is now pending while the NHL Players Association and NHL dig deep to find if Dadonov's no-move clause was ever formally submitted. If it was, the trade could end up voided and the Knights will be forced to have an awkward reunion with Dadonov. If it isn't voided, he will be heading to Anaheim practically against his will. For Studio G, I'm Nick Todorovic.
The Dadonov debacle is causing more distractions for the Golden Knights as they try to make a late season playoff push. Baseball is underway as the MLB lockout has officially ended, and now spring baseball and players are moving. Speaking of moving, teams like the Oakland Athletics are possibly looking to leave the Bay as they look at potential landing spots if they do not get a stadium built. One is being built here in our very own Las Vegas Valley. As the A's are looking to leave, have set some Oakland officials off, like Oakland City Council member Carol Fife finds it disrespectful that they are using PR games and looking to leave have been abusive behavior towards loyal fans. Oh boy. The NFL offseason had so many big trades and transactions done that should have the NFL looking completely different that fans will have to get used to for a while. Top defensive players such as offensive defensive players have been dealt for as their contracts expired with their former teams. Players like Russell Wilson, Devontae Adams, and Von Miller have been caught in the whirlwind of the NFL offseason. Teams will continue to upgrade their teams with free agents and set their sights on the NFL draft. Now, back to the desk with entertainment.
Thanks, Jacob. LL hosted the iHeartRadio Awards last night, and here are some of the major moments. Jennifer Lopez was honored with a 2022 Icon Award and gave a performance that did not disappoint.
The word for tonight is icon! Legendary! Mesmerizing! Show-stopping!
That was iconic. The Latin pop star thanked her fans for their continuous support over her 4-decade-long career.
Some other major winners
would come true when I was a little girl growing up in the Bronx. I know! I love you too! You did that! You did that for me! You made that.
Some other major winners of the night were Olivia Rodrigo taking home 3 awards, them being Female Artist of the Year, Best New Pop Artist, and TikTok Bop of the Year, beating out Lil Nas X Montero. However, Lil Nas did win Male Artist of the Year. Adele won Best Comeback Album for her work on 30, and the BTS Army won Best Fan Army for the 3rd year in a row. So what do you think about the winners?
I think they were all well-deserved. Olivia Rodrigo, I think, is very much deserved. She's amazing, and she's doing a lot for being so young. So
yeah, I mean, I read, isn't she like the first like Filipino artist to like acquire all those awards? Or
I'm gonna be honest, that's the first time I heard that she was Filipino.
Oh, no, I think I read something along those lines, but that, I mean, that's really good, and and I think she deserves it. I mean, I haven't heard her album front to back, but I've heard all of the hit songs.
Yeah, I think her album came out like during the summer, I think, of maybe last year. When I first listened to it, I was in a long-term loving relationship at the time, not anymore. And at first I didn't get it, but I mean, honestly, now I do.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
It was a moment.
I think her music really speaks to the it's the heartbroken and to the young, but it's great. It's really catchy music. The Oscars have just announced this year's performers, and the Queen is making a special appearance.
That is Queen Bee, of course. Music superstar Beyonce is one of the performers taking the stage at this year's Academy Awards, performing her song Be Alive from the film King Richard.
Have you heard about Encanto? Well, Sebastian Yatra will be performing the tear-jerking song Dos Orugas, written by Lin-Manuel Miranda. Billie Eilish and Reba McEntire will also be performing. The Oscars air live on Sunday, March 27th.
And Harry fans rejoiced this morning as British singer Harry Styles announced his 3rd album, Harry's House, coming 3 years after the Grammy-winning artist released his last album, Fine Line. This album is set to release May 20th.
Get ready to see a wooden toys journey become a real boy on the big screen. 3 new Pinocchio movies are slated to premiere later this year. From animation, head-turning voice acting, and live-action remakes, we will see how each movie will differ or remain the same from the classic Disney Pinocchio 1940 film. Matthew Wanga has more info.
Remember growing up watching Pinocchio in theaters? Well, the sight of this new one by Lionsgate Movie Studio lives up to the hype surrounding it. Pinocchio's voice turns some heads as his voice actor portrays the voice in a magical way.
Father, when can I leave to be on my own? I've got the whole world to see.
In the live-action film, Tom Hanks stars as Geppetto. The design of Pinocchio ties closely to the original 1940 animated Disney version. The Netflix adaptation stars Gregory Mann as Pinocchio, Ewan McGregor as Jiminy Cricket, and Tilda Swinton as the fairy. Guillermo del Toro and Mark Gustafson are going to direct this movie. I'm Matthew Gwanga, reporting for Studio G.
The Lionsgate adaptation is available today on digital and DVD. The live-action version is set to make its debut in September on Disney+, and Guillermo del Toro Pinocchio will be available to stream on Netflix in December.
Before we say goodbye, we wanted to let everyone know that today is National Puppy Day. Today we celebrate the unconditional love for all dogs, as well as raising awareness and encouraging adoption.
People are posting pictures and videos of their cute canine friends all over social media, as well as having them featured at their local news stations. Our own Studio G reporters even sent in some pictures of their own dogs.
Aww.
Look at
that. I love the
little
little heart. That's so cute.
That one's adorable. That one's a really happy dog. Little pug sitting on the couch. There's Matthew with his dog. There's another little dog.
I've always wanted a German Shepherd.
Oh yeah, they're beautiful. I mean, all dogs are beautiful.
Yeah.
Look at that one. That was a little hand-sized dog.
So Jonathan, do you have your own dogs?
Yeah, I have one dog. He's like a mini poodle mix. We're not sure with what, but we adopted him from a shelter, which I think is a super important thing to do. Everyone's always encouraging adopting, and it's true. Adopt from your local shelters and your cats, dogs, whatever. What about you? You have any dogs?
I have 4. I could talk about them for days. I'll give like a quick summary though. I have 4 small dogs. They all weigh less than like 20 pounds. The first one's name is Bella. She's a senior dog now, and she's a small Italian greyhound. She's super cute, stays to herself, just vibes, lives. And my second one that we got is Popcorn. We got him for free because one of my mom's pets had like a litter. He's our favorite, super small, like this big. And then our third one is Jack. My mom was going to work one day and she saw the dog like walking in the street. He was really dirty, and but he was super sweet. When my mom came up to him, he was like, "Oh, do you need a home?" Like, and we basically picked him up from the street, and now he lives with us. The vet expects that he's about 3 to 4 years old. He is a small terrier mix. He's white. He's super cute and super sweet. And then I have another dog. His name is Siege, and he is a Rottweiler mix. So fun story about him. We got him up from Craigslist. He costs about $180, and he is a nuisance. And that's it for me.
Well, that's all we have for you today. Thank you for watching. I'm Jonathan Carell.
And I'm Justine Marciga. Be sure to watch us live on Thursday at noon for more Studio G.